Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Rocks. Tracy here, and well, we've had a going and round about the houses day today, but it's been a good day. I'm a little croaky because I was just a bit emotional. I had a really nice email from a very special subscriber, and you know, yesterday, was it yesterday? I might have said that the other day I was in one because I felt like nobody loved me. Well, I guess I needed to hear what that person said, and it was very nice. Thank you very much. And well, all the things that you said, wow, just wow. It makes you realise, you know, sometimes when you moan about your little spot, how pathetic that really is. So yeah, you are a lovely person. Thank you very much for the really sweet things you said, and I really appreciate it. So what have we been doing today? Well, what have we been doing today? I can't remember. Some of it I can. Oh yes, Gary wanted to go out early. I didn't have to go with him, he said, but I wanted to go to the post office, but I got a bit waylaid with stuff for the shop online. So I never got all of the orders done, and so I didn't do it. But we went out, and he wanted to go to Whelan's, which is the place where does the concrete ornaments. So when Gary does his walls out in the garden, you know, you might have seen them when he does those walls that look like country walls. He breaks up stepping stones that he gets from Whelan's to dress the wall, not to make it, but to dress it. One of the walls is made with boulders, like an old-fashioned country wall, and I like that wall as it is. But all the others, they're kind of made with blocks, you know, and then they're dressed, and he cements around them and stuff. So he made one at the back of the flower bed, so it'd stop it to falling into Lee's garden. And it's kind of where the garden is, well, and the house is kind of wonky. You know, it is a wonky house and a wonky garden. And we have a bit of a slope to the garden, which, you know, is why next doors could fall into ours and ours could fall into Lee's if we're not careful. So it's not straight. So the back of the wall is higher than this side by the caravan. Oh, yarnavan, sorry. So it doesn't matter because it's a big shrub that hides the difference. But in the middle, it does seem to go downwards. So what he's going to do is he's going to put his paving on the top, and then he can cement more in that middle section, so it will put it the right height. And we're just going to paint the blocks for now to make them the same colour. And he's not going to put that kind of paving on the inside of it anyway. He might to a certain extent, but there'll be lots of plants hiding it anyway. So as long as it's the same colour, you won't really see it. But it's going to make the top of it all at one length. So we went into Whelan's, and they were selling X Pathway, and they're selling this kind of slabs for another company who used to be a few doors away, and they made things that are really nice. And there's some of them that I would really like to put in that area that used to be grass, but we're going to deck it. But one of them is like a really nice round pattern with paving. But they had some X Pathway stones, and they had new ones, and they were selling them off cheap at £4.50 a pop. So it didn't matter if, you know, I think they're actual pathways, so they'd be fine if we used them for a path, but they're only going to be the wall kind of top. So they were perfect and bigger than the ones that we'd get for a similar price actually in Whelan's themselves, and stronger. And he's got the tool to cut them. So he bought 10, and we brought them home. And then he thought, someone asked him how much they were as he was loading them into the car. And we knew that they would probably go really quick. So we went back to get another 6 so that it would fit it. But when we come back, I did say to Gary, you need to go out again. And he said, oh, why? That's because you forgot your medication. So that's one of the reasons we went out. And so I decided, okay, I'll go pack those other orders, do all the postage, and then we'll do that on the way out. So then we did that, went back to Whelan's. I got the medication first, went to Whelan's, then went and had a drink again. So we've become like regulars in this pub. We've been in there about 4 times now in the space of like a week or so. And it's not even that I'm a lush. All I drink is Diet Pepsi or Pepsi Max when I'm in there. Gary is the lush. So he's got a bit of a taste for the Desperados. That's what he kind of has when he goes in there. They have an offer. It's a Green King pub and they do 3 Desperados. Now, there used to be 3 Desperados for £10. But this one, although it's another... I've got an itchy eye. Sorry, it's that thing is itching. It's 3 for £11, but he still does it. And he usually drinks 2 of them there and brings the last one home with him. But he said, you know, I thought I would bring the last one home because she wouldn't want to drive the car home. And it was my car, you know, like the one I used to, my old car. I mean, well, I could drive it, you know. It's not that I couldn't drive Gary's old car. It's just that I didn't want to drive Gary's old car because I've got really lazy since I've had an automatic car. I don't really want to, can't be bothered with all that leg malarkey anymore and this arm malarkey. What's that all about? I don't need it anymore. I know what it is. When I was young, I always said I'm not having an automatic. I like being in control of the car. And I was a speed demon. There wasn't a single person ever beat me away at a set of traffic lights. And I kind of feel like a bit of an idiot saying that now, but at the time it was important to me that no one ever beat me away. And I had a Porsche at the side of me once, and I'm like, oh, he ain't getting past me. And I was gone. And then obviously they overtook me because I didn't have the sustainable speed in the car. But my reflexes were like this, and I was always very, very quick. My feet and everything could just do it. You know? So always beat anything away. It was just, and yet I never. Once was at a set of traffic lights and the windows open, and I had an Escort at the time, but it was a little bit souped up. This Ford Escort, and it was a beautiful car. It was really nice looking. It was very, very attractive. It had real nice stripe and a bit of a spoiler. It was really, and it had Cosworth wheels. It was really, really nice. Very distinctive looking, that car. No other car looked like it because it had been looked after by the person who had it before me. And people always said, I knew you were there because I saw your car, because it was not like any other. Anyway, and it had a slightly faster engine than it should have had because, well, it blew up once and we had a new engine put in. And this guy, he had all the components out, and he managed to fix this car like it was a dream. Anyway, at the lights, and there's a car full of young men in the next, next to me, and they're like this. And I thought, you ain't beating me away. And the lights changed, and I was gone. And I heard them go, "It's a bird and all." It was a bird and all. Meaning, if you don't understand the language, that was a female as well. You know, that's English colloquial chavvy language for, oh my goodness, a woman just beat you away at the lights, my friend. Do you know, I was watching, I've got to say it right. I tried to watch, I watched Marshalls, and I got a bit annoyed with it because now I loved Yellowstone, and the two 1920 whatever it was and 18 whatever it was. I loved them, right? And I watched all the seasons. And then I thought, Marshalls is Casey Dutton, it's got to be good, right? The language, oh my God. I'm reading the subtitles and I still don't understand what they're saying. The sayings, it's like me if I said, it's a bird and all. people who are not from the UK, not familiar with London slangs, not really going to know what that was. And that's what I'm talking about. It was too, and you know when they make like cute little sayings in films and TV shows that sound cool, but they're just not really the way people speak, like, you know, stay frosty, you know, that sort of thing. So these guys were in the services together, and they had these kind of like little banter sayings, and I think, what does that mean? And you know, they want to sell this part of the franchise to other countries, right? So you would think that they would make the language understandable for those other countries. And I had this friend who was called Bill, and he was from Philadelphia, and we were diet buddies back in the day of when I first started doing low carbing, and I was on my Fitness Pal, and he became my friend, and I used to call him Billy from Philly, and he said, no, my son's Billy from Philly, I'm Bill. I was like, not to me, Billy from Philly is where you're at. So I'll never forget, we become friends on Facebook, and he put this blurb up once, and I had to put underneath it, now, I understood every single one of those words, just not together. And so one of his friends must have commented, and he put, no, she's from across the pond, so we'll let her off. And it must have been baseball speak or whatever, but all of the words individually made sense to me. They were like words, obviously they're English, and I'm English, so I understood it, but put them together, it made absolutely no sense whatsoever. And so that's what I had to put. Individually, I understood every one of those words, just not together. It was like, what? And that's what happened in Marshalls, really. I watched two of them, and I kind of like a bit lost for some, and I was getting a bit cross. I was like, I don't understand what they're saying. And I'm like having to read this, and not only am I having to read it, I don't always understand what I've read. So yeah, I'm going to stick with it because I like it, and you know, I did like Yellowstone, and I give it time. I might get acclimatized to the lingo. You never know, it might happen. So I've been really doing this a lot. And I've finally figured out just what's doing this to me at the minute, because now I've been left with this for quite some time, and it's not really gone, and I don't like it, and you know, I don't really want to go and have any more investigation. Do you know what I mean? It's like, forget it. But while I was out the other day, all of the rape seeds started coming out, and it's beautiful yellow flowers, fields and fields of them. And usually I like the smell. It's got this sweet smell of flowers. It's really quite nice, but they're every single field at the moment is full of it, every single field. And I think it's just, whereas normally it's a field, or you might have another field in the distance, and you might have another field over there quite a way off, this is one after another, and it's magnified. It's taken my breath away. And boy's dad always used to say, oh, I hate rapeseed. Whenever that comes out, it starts me off, and it made him have a bit of hay fever. I used to say, well, for once, you've got something that I don't have, you know, because it was always me that suffered with him buying fabric softener and all that sort of thing, like I mentioned the other day. So I was like, oh, one time, I like the smell of this stuff, and it does him in. So I was kind of like glad in a way that it was like, finally, well, I get it now. I think they've overkilled. It's just the air. All you can smell everywhere you go is this sweet smell of rapeseed. And I think and I spoke to the woman in the post office. I said, because I started coughing, I mean, it's okay. I've just a bit of asthma. I said, it's all this rapeseed. She went, I wondered what was, I've been feeling like that. You know, it's like I can't it's like breathing is a heavy thing to do. And I went, yeah, that's what it is. So I said, normally I like it, but it's just, I think that whole island is it's just a mass of yellow flowers. And it's just too much, too heavy going. Hang on a minute, guys. Sorry about that. One had to blow one's nose. And I do feel better for it, I must admit. But yeah, it's heavy is the word. Heavy chested, and because of it, you know. But the thankful thing is, the thing I'm thankful for rather, right, is that it doesn't last very long. Once the flowers fall off, they start bringing it in. And it is only a springtime kind of flower. So pretty soon, it'll just be clear. At the moment, and usually I mean I really like it, but it is just feels like it's magnified a million times at the moment. Anyway, nice cup of biscuit tea, normal biscuit tea today, but yeah, so Gary's been bringing all of his slabs in and out, but he's hurt his wrist, well, he's hurt his arm a little bit. He must have twisted it. So I did say to him, we'll leave him in the car and, you know, bring him in later, but he wanted to do it. But he's making a Lego tank. So he got this for Christmas off of me, a tank of, and it was tiny little bits, and he found it on Temu and he wanted me to get it off of Temu. So I ordered this thing and it just arrived in these bags. And there was no, didn't seem like there was any, there's no box or anything, just bags of bits. And I just put it in a box. And I could have sworn there was little loose bits in there. And I thought, oh my God, you know, didn't trust the fact that they would all be there. And he's making it and they're all there. So, and the stupid thing was, later on he sent me another link to this other one and I bought it. It's the same one and it was in a box. So he ended up with 2 of those, but he's been making that at the moment. He let Alfie make his Formula 1 car. He also got a Formula 1 car from a Lego one, and he let Alfie do that the other day. So I think he's got another one, and he's also got a giant ship like this. And that's the one I'd worry about, whether there was like bits missing, but you know, he's been doing it all day. It's quite difficult. He's quite enjoying it because normally jigsaw puzzles and stuff are quite easy for him. But at least he's doing them, which is more than, you know, the Airfix models. He keeps threatening to do those, but they never get done. He bought paints. He's sort of getting a bit closer over time. So yeah, that's what we've been doing with our day. But at least I got all my orders out. And mostly as well, it's I put some more Firefly in because I'd run out of a couple. I was quite low, so I did a bit of a stock take and I put my Dragonfly in. I thought, this is my pack, but all right, I just put it in the stock. It's not like I can never get it again. Don't need it right now, do I? This is what happened with the Wicked over and over again. I order it and then I end up putting it in. So I've done that. So I've put the Dragonfly in stock and a few others that, but there's something I want to make, and I'm going to try and do it over this next few days, that I want to do with the silvery one. I'm not sure if it'll come off, but I'm going to try and make something pretty cool with it. Yeah, so I'm going to try and do that when Gary's working. We shall see. I did a tutorial with it, and I'm not sure if it's too dark to see. But what I did was I did a stitch tutorial with it. I thought, you know, it's quite shiny and the light shines on it, so it should be quite easy to see. It looks like I know it sounds silly, but when you look at it, it does look like the shininess of a beetle. It's really good name for it, really. Harlequin beetle, that one. Anyway, I'm going to drink this before it gets cold because, you know, I'm really enjoying the tea. Hang on a sec. I needed it as well with all that hemming. Let's do the things. Let's do the things from The Mandalorian. So it was a quote. Oh, I have no idea what that is. Big orange thing. Oh, Looks like a Stargate, but it's not. Ooh, I don't remember that. Anyway, did you see the pictures of the Earth from space when the Artemis mission went up? I mean, when they've done the Earth from space pictures, it looks beautiful, doesn't it? It's like a blue jewel with white, kind of snowy caps, a bit of land. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? Doesn't now. And there's these big kind of brown patches. It's like, what? Maybe it's a different aspect, you know, a different view. But boy, doesn't it look horrible now? It kind of looks like we're destroying the planet, doesn't it? I don't know if that's... It's just that, you know, whereas we were looking at blue oceans before. And in fact, I did see one angle that you never see the Earth of normally, and it was just water with a bit of cloud here and there, very tiny bits of land, because you don't normally see it from that angle. But if the angle that they took the brown, big brown blob is the same as the one from before, it ain't good, is it? Maybe it's not. Perhaps it's a lot of sand, you know, like massive desert, or all of the Arab states, which probably are sandy, you know what I mean? Might have just been a different view of the Earth, but it's not as pretty as it was. It's a bit of a facelift, you ask me. But do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Have you seen it? That was the sound of Gary removing my non-slip mat in the bottom of the bath. He's off to have a bath and soak away his aches and pains. Cheers, my dears. Got to finish this off. I don't know. See, that orangey thing just reminded me of that. But it doesn't look as pretty. And that's alarming, really, if it is the same angle, and it's not good. Okay. Oh, my goodness. I don't know if this has got dodgy words, but we'll see. A pirate walks into a bar and the bartender says, "Hey, haven't seen you for a while. What happened? You look terrible." "Wait, what do you mean?" said the pirate. "I feel fine." The bartender says, "Well, what about that wooden leg? You didn't have that before." Well, we were in a battle and I got hit with a cannonball. But you know, I'm fine now." Bartender says, "Well, okay. What about that hook? What happened to your hand?" "Well, we were in another battle. I boarded a ship and I got into a sword fight. My hand was cut off, so I got fit with a hook. I'm fine, really." Bartender says, "Well, what about that eye patch?" "Oh, well, one day at sea and a flock of birds flew over and I looked up and one of them took a dump in my eye." "You're kidding? You lost an eye from the bird poop?" says the pirate. Says, "It was my first day with the hook." It was my first day with a hook. Good job I don't have a hook. The amount of fishing around I have to do in my eye. It's made me cry. Oh, I like that one, and there wasn't any swear words in it either. Look, I've got all emotion again. Got all emotion, have I? Got emotion. So, getting really prepared now for our little trip. I noticed when you go on their app, well, you go on there, you can't really go on the app. It's a weird old situation with them. The app works, but it works when you're on board. There's two things you can say. "I sail soon." They ask you to put in all your details, like your trip number, and sign in, but you can't really do much. But when you're on board, it comes alive, this app. But anyway, the website, you can go on there, and when you go on there, you've got all these things to fill in, and it shows all your trips, and then you can click on it and it expands it and it shows you the itinerary. And on that page, normally this is your cabin number. So you kind of have this yes and no permission whether they can move you. And I always click no, because when we choose the cabin, we choose a nice one in the middle or something, you know, one that's not near the lift and noisy places. So we always usually put no. And then it goes and sees what kind of bed you want and all that sort of thing, and what sitting of your food do you want. But when I look on the new one, like the one we're going on soon, whether you can move us or not has been taken off. And I did put in to be upgraded. So I'm wondering if they've just, all those people that have put in upgrade bids, if they've took that facility off in case you're successful and they have to move you. But it's there on all the others. You know, are we permitted to move your cabin for a like for like cabin? You have to click yes or no. But that's disappeared. But I haven't heard from them, and it's, you know, they said usually 21 days before you go, they let you know either way. Well, they haven't, and it's not that far away anymore. So, don't know what's going on. Nothing's changed apart from that's disappeared. Anyway, so I've been starting to get a few bits together, like I bought some Rennies today just in case. And because I was ill on the last one, I'm going to stock up on some paracetamols and stuff like that to take. I have like a little medicine bag. See, usually when I used to fly, which I don't do anymore, but I used to, I always used to take Imodium Plus with me, because every single time I went abroad, I ended up with jippy tummy every single time. And it would always happen quite early on. And I would always not drink their water. I wouldn't have ice in my drinks, and yet it still happened. And it was one day I was talking to someone who was a flight crew, and she said, I know why you get upset tummy every trip. It's because you have the tea on the plane or coffee. She said, you're better off not having it. And always refuse, because they fill up with water wherever they are. So if they're in France or Spain or wherever, they'll fill up with the water, and it doesn't boil. It only gets hot enough to make the tea or coffee, but it doesn't boil the bugs away. So every time you think you're just having a cup of tea, you're actually having the water that could have been filled up with somewhere where they don't drink their water. You know, in the past, I don't know what it's like now. I did watch that couple I mentioned, and they have drinking water fountains in the street now in Paris. But I can remember when I used to go to France, it used to have not potable everywhere. You can't drink the water. It wasn't treated like ours. So, yeah, that's why I always ended up with a bad stomach, because I had the tea on the plane. So after that, I just stuck to gin, and I didn't get it anymore. But now I don't drink, so it'd have to be just Coke. But I wouldn't do it anyway. I wouldn't fly. Not flying ever again. So I know that rules out a lot of great places. I know. And Gary does feel quite sad about it. But I'm a wuss, okay? I've survived this long. I've managed to survive. They're not going to get me. We sink now. You watch, the boat will sink. Get eaten by a shark. Something or other. Barracudas. Piranha attack or something. Anyway, it's not the Titanic. There's enough boats. There's enough lifeboats. There is. I'll tell you. But yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. So I always used to, and I can never forget this one time in Lanzarote, walking round and round and round trying to find pharmacies that were open and get some really decent stomach medication. And all they had was stuff called Lopakey. That was it. Lopakey, which turns out is the same ingredient that's in Imodium, but, you know, Imodium Plus is one that doesn't make your stomach ache, cuts out the cramps. So forevermore I would be taking the Imodium Plus with me. But yeah, don't need to fly now. And then, you know, I couldn't believe it when she told me. I always avoid the ice. I don't have any drinks in the country, and, you know, I never drink their water. I always have bottle. Don't understand it. She said, "Do you have tea on the plane?" And I said, "Yeah." Shouldn't that be it then? They shouldn't be allowed to do that. That's terrible, isn't it, really, when you think about it? Oh, it doesn't matter, we'll just poison them before they go. Yeah. Give them the trots all through their holiday. Lovely. Obviously, it doesn't affect everybody, but I must have had just a bit of a delicate constitution. Yeah. Anyway, that's that. So if you're going to fly, be mindful of the tea and the coffee. Stick to gin. It's safer. Don't have the ice. And yet they always just sell our ice. We make it with like bottled water. We'll make a bloody tea with it then. Goodness sake. Sorry if I made you jump. But you know, what's the point in that? All the people who have alcohol are fine. Yeah, it's just you lot with the tea. We're going to kill you. So yeah, no. Anyway, what else have I got to tell you? Let me think. Did I do anything else today? Don't think so. I was going to look for some yarn, but I didn't in the end. In fact, I was going to go and have a look for some t-shirts and stuff like that. See if there was anything nice in the shop. I forgot. We just went home to avoid the rush hour. But, you know, as the kids are off, it's not as bad, you know, rush hour at the minute. One bit of bad news is that there's a Lidl store that's it's had land acquired on a busy roundabout, and sadly it got approved. So as much as it would be great to have a Lidl, not there, it's going to be an absolute nightmare. It'll be a nightmare while they're building it. It'll be a nightmare when they open. People coming in and out on that roundabout. That is the bad traffic roundabout. You know, we don't need any more anomalies on that roundabout. Oh well. Just have to stay in. Like that's going to happen. Oh, I've got to tell you this. That reminded me, right? When I was young, people used to get people do that a lot. You know what I mean? Oh no! I haven't seen anybody do that for ages. And we were driving back home, and we're going through the campsite, and this guy went like that, and I thought he was getting a bit violent. And then he went up to this woman, and he was talking to her, and he was doing all this, and I thought I haven't seen anyone do that for a long time. But people always used to do that. You know what I mean? But where it come from and why people did it and why they stopped. Well, he never stopped. But yeah, it just struck me when I saw him do it. It's like, wow, I haven't seen anyone do that for a long while. Get away. I don't understand why people ever did it really, but must have been, is it Dick Emery? You are awful, but I like you. That might have been it. Maybe. Anyway, I'm going to get off and upload this video and see you on the next one. Take care. Bye for now. Bye.